How's everybody doing on this Sunday morning? Probably everybody's starting to get ready to watch football, I'm guessing. Figured I'd just get on, see what's going on across the country. Gives me something to do while I'm just sitting here tagging traps. It gets kind of boring. The monotonous of just tagging traps over and over and over. Hey, Colt, how we doing, bud? Michael, how's it going? Every time I drop a trap, that thing's gonna gobble. I guarantee you. This cool weather's got me pretty pumped. We just left the Iowa Trapper Convention yesterday. Got myself a new Sleepy Creek shirt, and I haven't got a chance to cut the sleeves off it yet. So, old Ben would be proud. LTO, what's happening? It was nice and cool this morning. Nice and cool. Yesterday morning was the same. After leaving that convention, it's got me pretty excited. So, come out here and start working on some traps this morning. Greg Riley from Ohio. How we doing, bud? You know, I talked to a lot of people about that Ohio demo area. And I said that can't be beat. I said it can't be beat, but there are a few guys that are saying Escanaba next year puts on a pretty good one too. Is it the Coyote Academy? Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun. It was a good time. I don't know. I was talking to Next Gen yesterday at the convention. He keeps better track than I do. We are, what do you say, like 36 days away from pre-staking. So it's going to be here pretty quick. So this time my first priority is going to be getting the shop ready. The shop ready, trap prep done. Get all this good stuff done. I want so badly right now just go out and start scouting. I love scouting. I love seeing those trails pop. But that always should be the last thing I do. Mostly because those trails will just get better later and later. So if you go out early and scout now, things are going to change so much by then. There's going to be a lot that you miss if you scout them now. Bobby, how we doing? Vegetation's to die off, show the trails, been out scouting. Yeah, exactly, Dan. That's why I'm not in a real hurry yet to scout. I want to. It's my favorite part of preseason work, but I gotta get the shop finished and cleaned up first. That's gonna be my number one priority. And going through all these traps and tagging them and everything else that I gotta do. I had a bunch I kind of inherited this off season, so we got a bunch of just trap tags put on, then a bunch from last year. You know, I still got a power wash. Check the tags on them, make sure everything's good, the triggers are working. These are my favorite traps of all time. I really wish they didn't quit making these. These easy dog-proof traps are just phenomenal. Strong springs. Basically, it's a Z trap just with a pull only trigger. Definitely, probably my favorite. They just don't make them much anymore. Oh, they went to the flea market yesterday. Find any good deals? Seems like a lot of those flea markets, they have traps there. We have a big one here down south of us. And they tried, I wasn't there, but they had a bunch of rusty dog proofs. And the guy tried telling her they were antique traps. And he wanted like, I don't know, $35 a piece for them or something like that. And it's kind of comical. Luckily, my wife knew better. Got all the way till November till you can start. Yeah, our season doesn't actually start till November 5th, but a lot of preseason work to do. And we can, like I said, pre-staking in 30-some days, which means my trap prep has to be my number one priority right now. In case you guys are wondering, I always double tag my traps. Don't have to, just a personal preference. The reason being, raccoons are real notorious for ripping a trap tag off. They rip a trap tag off, and guess what? You don't have a tag on it, now you're illegal. But I always run two of them, and I double them up like that. You saw a lot of 220s. Probably asking a lot of money for them too, weren't they? Like, see this one here? This one's going to get power washed. That can't go in the ready to go bucket, but I'll go ahead and get it tagged. So when I going through these traps, I'm going to have one bucket that's just completely ready to go. Tags are good. Doesn't need dyed. Doesn't need power washed. One bucket that needs power washed and dyed. So I guess really two. Yeah, no, I used to have one that just needs dyed. Yeah, we'll probably do that too. We'll have one that just needs dyed. Just because, I mean, some of them won't need power washed. I can't. All these are pretty filthy yet, but yeah, I'm sure there's some in here, but hey, Mr. Somebody, how we doing? Right, Dan? Yeah, nowhere near old enough. Left-handed trigger, ready for your first year trap, and that's awesome, man. What are you targeting? What are you going after? What's in your area? Oh, 39 degrees this morning, man. Boy, I'd be all excited for that. Ben, I do not wax dog proofs. I'm using Formula One on all my trap prep. I do not wax anything. That being said, I'm not a coyote guy, so most of the waxing is done with your canines and such. I definitely would not wax any conibears, in my opinion. But can you show a close-up on how you're rolling? Yeah, Flintlock, definitely will. Welcome to the party. Wait, that one? Yeah, that one's not ready to go. I'll try to show it if I can. Remember the first egg traps? Yeah. So all I'm doing is basically I'm taking it and I'll fold it over like such. Then with my pliers, I'm grabbing it. You can kind of see how that's on there. And then I'm just literally, if you can see it, taking it and taking the pliers and rolling it up. So it just keeps rolling it. And I'll crimp it down at the end. So that way it's on there. I don't like them loose on there because then coons really chew on them. They tear them up pretty good. Works out pretty well. Had a lot of good buys and acts and a lot of... Oh, cool, Colt. That's awesome. Oh, awesome, LTO. That's great. Trap Squash, how we doing? That Iowa convention, it got me pumped up, fellas. Every time I drop one, he's going to do that. He had an antique Bigelow trap. Awesome. Yeah, so my demo yesterday morning was, I won't say on my part, but it was pretty disastrous. Unfortunately, our fairgrounds got double booked with a goat show. So we kind of, I'm sure they had nicknames for us, but we kind of called them the goat people. The people there showing goats, they had a huge generator running right outside the demo area, probably 30 feet from me at most, and it was blaring. I mean, it was just roaring. Then they'd get on the intercom system, which is about 10 feet above my head, and blare out their next event or the next class they're showing. Had a lot of people come up to me afterwards and like, hey, I didn't really hear anything you said, but can you show me this or that again? I'm like, that was pretty disappointing. I was pretty sad about that, but it is what it is. They fixed it after mine, though. They parked their vehicle in front of the generator to muffle it and turned off the intercom system. So at least every demo after mine worked out well. Yes, I'm rolling them up into the chain. Ben, not really. I should. There seems to be a pretty darn good market right now for beaver, so I'm going to hit them as hard as I can this spring. I need to be finishing my spring beaver, get my freezers cleaned out too. Like I said, I got a lot of work to do yet, fellas. A lot of work to do. But all in time. No, Trap Squatch, I did not. I kept telling everyone there's plenty of bait running around. What were they asking for them, though, Ruger? They seem to think those things are pretty valuable. Ben Bauer, November 5th is our opener, but we're pre-steaking 2 weeks in ahead of time. AKW, how we doing, bud? Just trying to get some trap stuff done. I won't say I'm behind, but definitely not ahead. I do have the shop looking fairly decent to my standards for what it normally is. So compared to other people, this would be horrendous. So we're not to a point where we can share the shop yet. Time to see what prices are. LTO, it's gonna be pretty rough. It's gonna be really rough. Oh, Ben, I never thought about breaking it down per square foot. I know generally like the 14 to 16 cubers, I'm looking at about 120, maybe 150 skinned and flattened out, pushed down hard. Oh, cool, Dan. That's awesome, bud. Oh, really, Ruger? They probably called them antiques and tried selling them for like $100. Oh, that's not good, Colt. You kind of want the whole thing. Briar Brower, how we doing? Or Burrow. Sorry, there's another Briar in here. I was just talking to another Briar at convention. Cam's Outdoors. No, Facebook notifications. Oh, kind of a little different than my normal lives. My side, I've done coyote. I used to catch a few coyotes and footholds, and I'm going to try to get more into that this year. Not hard by any means, but I am going to try to pick up a few in footholds. Definitely going to try to pick up a lot of coyotes in my road ditches. That's going to be kind of my number one, kind of an objective, probably number two objective. I want to break my raccoon total, but at the same time, I do want to pick up some coyotes in the road ditches. Just my problem with footholds is you have to get permission. And for me to get permission around here is almost impossible. I sure can after January 10th once all the deer hunters are done. But everything's leased out. You're not allowed pretty much to. I couldn't get deer hunting ground if I wanted to right now. Absolutely not. Nowhere. It's just unless you got deep pockets and can pay for it. Yeah, on my side, I needed one this morning. SS Outdoors, what's up, bud? It was a good convention. Probably the highlight of it for me is I got a bunch of friends, like a bunch of trapping friends from all across the state, and I don't get to see them but once or twice a year. And luckily, I was able to just hang out with them and crash their party pretty much every night. But it was good. It's good to meet new people, but at the same time, it's really good to catch up with those friends that you've had and you talk to basically daily, but you just don't get to see them. And that gets kind of frustrating. So being able to actually sit down and have a few drinks with guys and talk trapping and just talk about life around a fire, just awesome. Just a great time. New Hampton, Iowa that sells a lot of tan finished furs. No, I don't, Ruger. Is there someone specific you're talking about? AKW, tell your cousin hi from me as well. Flintlock, these are the easy traps. It was actually the daughter of the Z-Trap maker made these for a brief period of time. I wish she would never have gotten out of them because they are the best traps around, in my opinion. The Dukes are right there too, but I love these traps for the price. That's probably the best benefit over the Dukes was the price. Years ago, I could get these for about $70 a dozen. So that's when everything else was still $85, $90 a dozen at the cheapest, maybe even 95. They're phenomenal traps. I really like them. They're just basically it's a Z trap, but it's still got only a pull trigger. And actually, I found a guy at convention that had a bunch of these brand new because this coating wears off. You catch first coon and it's shiny. Here's one that caught a coon. It wears off pretty quick, but it's a different type of metal that doesn't rust nearly as easy. Really, really like it. Yeah, and I jumped on these when I found a guy that had about 4 dozen of these brand new. Yeah, I couldn't pass it up. His username is Duke Traps. I guess I don't know, Rigger. There's big meeting. Oh, LTO, that's tough. That's too bad. Briar, I'm not terribly far. I mean, it's just I just got to sit down and do it. I should be out scouting right now because the weather's perfect and be great, but it's too early. So you have 10-year neighbor boy that wants to trap some coon. Then I got him a few dozen and put drags them to keep it simple. Any tips? Oh, Cameron, that's awesome. Take that kid out. Go have fun. I would be nervous about the drags. I would probably more so look at rebar to hold them in the ground myself. Just go find those trails, wherever you got permission or wherever you're going. Those raccoon, they're traveling point to point. So big tree to big tree, and you'll see that little trail about yay wide, about 3 inches wide. And it's just kind of, if you ever walk a certain path through the grass so much, you can see your trail. It's not a bare trail, but you can see the trail. And that's kind of what you'd be seeing right now. Yeah, exactly, Dan. It's just like the Z-Traps. S&S, yeah, Kendall makes some really, really good stuff. I've heard his dog-proof traps are really, really well now. I had kind of a bad experience with a few of them. First came out, and it kind of scarred me from them. Kind of like if you have bad luck with a Chevy for your first vehicle, no matter, you kind of stay away from them. I won't say I'll stay away from them. I'll give them a shot again, but right now I got so much stuff. Everything else of Kendall's is, just probably the heaviest duty trap there is anymore. Just absolutely phenomenal. Just a big, heavy, solid traps. You're going to pay for them, but you get what you pay for, and you get some really good quality stuff with them. Kind of a strange chain hookup with that flat piece of steel or whatever. Oh, no. Nope, it's pretty solid. It's probably, I don't know, that's 1/4 inch steel. Actually, I've had this bend here, the actual stake itself bend before this, which is probably mostly from me trying to break it out of the ground. If it gets froze, I'll wobble it. But I've never had anything break. None, my side. Even on really little coon, when I let them go, they run 95% of the times. They're not even limping or anything. Oh, Rutledge? Yeah, I've heard of Rutledge. My side with the swivels, there's almost no damage with TPs at all, but I've had them rip their foot off. I think a lot, Briar, right? If frozen ground, you do not want to push these all the way down underground. If this stays solid and they're stuck in there, you're going to have issues. This needs to be able to move with their feet. That's why frozen ground, I'll actually drive like rebar into the ground first. And actually, that's what I love about the easy traps for frozen ground, because I'll put it down with that hole that I've done. It'll go into the hole and just sit on top with this. With the round piece, it'll just sit on top of the hole. And just that little bit of it sitting there, it'll freeze right here on these points. And that's freezing is just enough to hold it steady. The coon can't pull it out, but once he's caught in there, he can leverage and snap that frost, if you will, and pull it out. Works pretty good. Oh, you're going to try some Beaver Extremes? I've heard a lot of good things about them. Yeah, Ben, we're going to get on some coyotes, I hope. Mostly in the road ditches, but if I can find some permission, I'll get on private ground. Picked up 2 dozen at our convention yesterday, and they're cheaper. Oh, yeah. Kendall's traps normally are, the Note BS DPs at least, have always been lower priced than than most other dog-proof manufacturing companies. And like I said, I've heard really good things about them now. I just had one bad instance, and I'll give them a shot again. But BJ, I would be done if you'd come over here and help me. I was supposed to be at work today, and that didn't quite happen. Old Gussie got loose last night in the house. My wife decided she wants to put her in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, her bathroom, and I went to put her up there, and apparently I didn't latch the door well enough, and she got out loose into the house. So, pretty bad. We spent a lot of time last night trying to track her down. We didn't even find her last night. My wife found her under the treadmill back in the office where she used to be. My fault. I didn't latch the door, but it is what it is. At least we found her now. Just bought SS Featherlight. New Brunswick, Canada. The regs are super. Oh, that'd be cool on my side. 330s on dry land. That'd be all right. A lot of vendors from Iowa. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me, Ruger. Do they have any fur there for sale, like tan stuff? I'm guessing. Any like garments and things like that. Yeah, you got to use common sense, my side for sure. AKW, take care, bud. Thanks for stopping in. Left-handed trigger. How do I set them in the road ditches? My opinion, if you're taking this 10-year-old out, road ditches might not be the best place. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but if you do, find some very remote roads, especially at that age. Like on my videos that I do when I take those boys trapping with me, I take them on some roads, but they're very, very remote roads. But that's the one place I have permission to take them on trapping on private. Just because, 10 years old, they're not as cautious as what we are, know the dangers of the road line. But if you do find a remote road, very, very little traffic, and just look for that timber to corn trails. They're there. I never told you I was helping you today. I told you I couldn't today or tomorrow, because I got to get some of this stuff done. Actually, I got to work tomorrow, so I was supposed to work today, like I said, but no. If you were sitting in here yapping at me, you'd probably get your stuff done, BJ. And if I wasn't yapping on YouTube, I'd probably get my stuff done. I honestly wondered that, Ruger. A lot of water trapping LTO? We're not. I was planning on doing a lot of water trapping, but that's not even going to be remotely possible up here. That caught so many times last year that I couldn't put the DP in the ground. Had to lay them on the ground because it thawed the snow and froze. Oh, yeah, for sure, Ben. For sure. BJ, I know you. You can't multitask for anything. I was going to talk to you too, BJ. So that box I'm going to make you for your flushing setup, are you okay if I just make you an entire table for your flushing setup and everything? That might be easier for me. That way I don't have to go over there and make it. I can make it here in my off time and just bring it over there to you. A full setup for the beam and everything, just like mine. 4 to 5 beaver spots? That's awesome, bud. You quiet down out there. Okay, BJ. I'll just do that then over the next... It'll probably be over this next week or so. I'll get something together and try to get down there. If we didn't live so far together, I'd be willing to help you get your stuff done. Yeah, I appreciate it, bud. I'm a solo guy, believe it or not. I do this YouTube stuff, but I'm a guy. I've had several people like, oh, we should partner up, and I can never probably have a trapping partner. Just because I'm too anal on stuff. It's definitely a big flaw of mine. I just couldn't. There's a big trapping contest the second week of season that I'm probably going to participate in, and it's 4-man teams, basically as much as you can trap, and I think I'm still going to do it by myself. See how I can fare out with everybody else, but. Chad, I'm glad you're still driving, buddy. I was kind of worried about you when we talked last night. Yeah, you focus on the road, buddy. Footholds in here a little tricky in the winter, especially when it hits negative 30. Yeah, I bet it does, my side. There's one that's all ready to go. Hour and a half to go, Chad. Good, man. How's How's the truck holding up? Your wife would have loved Rutledge. Oh yeah, Ruger. She goes there. Well, we went there once, and I think she's gone there with her parents once, but haven't done a whole lot recently. But she's been there. Yeah, Ruger. I don't blame you. Good, Chad. I appreciate you letting me kind of vent to you there. What was that, Friday night? Uh, Definitely had a little more drinks than I probably should have. It was a good time. Friday night was a late night. That was, oh man, 1:30. 1:30 in the morning. We stopped, especially when I got up there with Ben from Sleepy Creek. Yeah, that gets pretty ornery when we get together. I told Ben, I was like, really good thing we didn't live close to each other, because we would definitely become best friends and practice karate in the garage. 5-0 Trapper. Yeah, as soon as I'm going to do some trap prep videos coming up, but I'm going to do it all in one. I'm going to show glimpses of how I'm tagging, how I'm power washing, how I'm dying, how I'm making my snares, setting up dog proofs. It's going to be one whole video. And then we're going to do probably 2 or 3 into scouting. A couple videos on kind of my shop setup, how I'm making it more efficient, how I'm trying to make it more organized. I'm always looking for ways to do better and improve on things. Doesn't always work. Like last year, I tried to improve my coyote catch by waiting until later in the season when we had snow, and it bit me in the tail, and we didn't catch anything. So definitely kind of frustrated there, but I learned. I'll admit I messed up and move forward. We learn a lot more from our failures than we do our successes. I'll promise you that. Oh yeah, my side. Our early trees our cottonwoods and things like that are starting to turn. No, Ruger, you stay off of that. I agree with trapping by yourself. Same way with beaver trapping. Yeah, Briar, that's kind of what I do. Like, I'll take people to ride along. I'll take a few people. I have to trust them pretty well to bring them on my line. I've been burned here a few years ago pretty bad, so I'm pretty cautious about it now. But there's a few friends that I've invited along, and a few other people that I'll trust to be on my line. Gary Downs, how we doing? Yeah, 5-0. And that's the thing, like, I feel so bad, but like a lot of the other trappers, they're putting out videos too when I'm trapping, and I don't have enough time to even watch people's stuff until things start slowing down in December for me, and then I'll go back and kind of check and see how everyone else is doing. Always kind of bothered me when during season when I do a live or something, and someone's like, oh, like I think it was Dan last time, like, did you see his video on this and this? I'm like, I haven't seen one of Dan's videos in like a month because I've just been so busy doing my own filming and stuff, and then I'll go back and catch up on them the best I can. But it's tough to, when you're actually going. It's tough to keep track of everybody else. What was with what, Skunk? Gus got out last night. My wife's been putting her in the bathroom, and she got out last night. I didn't lock the door, or I didn't shut the door hard enough, and it didn't latch, and she was loose throughout the house overnight. So my fault. I paid for it, but it's definitely my fault. My side, yeah, it is. I've dealt with it before. I don't. How do I say this? It happens, but not very often. Even when it's that cold and things go numb or whatnot, a lot of times they're curled up in a ball. They stay pretty warm, just curled up in a ball, even in like nasty, nasty snow. So I don't really have a lot of issues with it, but it can be difficult to get out of the trap when it is. Oh yeah, LTL. She's been in some of my lives. If you get a chance to look at some of them, always check to make sure everything's working on these things too. But yeah, she was she's been in some of my lives here recently. She's pretty good size now, so she's definitely growing. Yeah, Ruger, if I feel that it can't come out of it, to be honest with you, I'll harvest them. Coon are remarkably tough. I caught one last year. No, this not last year, a few years ago. If it was last year, I would have filmed it because this was unbelievable. It'd been hit by a car or something. Its back was broke and healed again. It could not use its back legs, its spine and everything from about halfway down to solid. Its front of its thighs and its belly was just bare. But it fully healed itself up. The femurs were broke. The legs were just, but rehealed. Everything was rehealed, but just one solid piece. And he was still fat and healthy as could be. Pretty crazy, pretty remarkable how tough those things are. Flintlock, I'm not sure on that one. The No BS 1.5s are really, really good traps. Really, really heavy duty. I almost bought some at convention, but I didn't. Oh, yeah, my side. Ruger, no. No, I won't do that. I mean, I can, like, another thing, like, these things, everyone thinks, oh, they're so mean, they're so aggressive. These traps aren't that bad. They're not going to hurt an animal. I mean, I have stuck my finger in these things several times. It's not, I mean, it stings, but my finger's also smaller than a raccoon's foot, too, so. And that whole raccoon's foot that goes in here, I mean, you're talking, like, it's big. So it doesn't have time, momentum to speed to even hurt anything. It's just, all it's going to do is hold it. Be literally just like me putting two in here and letting go of the side. If I get two fingers, it'll even fit in there. I mean, that's all it's going to do. There's no real room to snap, per se, because it goes this far. So, definitely probably one of the better traps, in my opinion, for coon, but I was hoping to get some water, so you use some 1.5s. It wouldn't surprise me, Briar. A dozen yesterday, and they need tweaking. Ben, what kind did you get? Some dog proofs, and what kind of tweaking do you need? Oh, there you go, Flintlock. Hey, Deer Slayer. Oh, you're talking the No BS? Yeah. In my opinion, actually not even my opinion, just from what I've heard, because I've never messed with them. It seems like the MBs are one of the only ones that, what I've been told, can be ready to go out of the box. Outside of just some like dog proofs in general, they're pretty simple, but not very complicated. Oh, cool. They wouldn't fire. Um, hold on, Ben. If your 1.5s wouldn't fire, there's a lot of possibilities here. I'll go ahead and get this one set. So, if I get that pan level, about right there, what I'll actually sometimes do if this gets bent over here and it can push that in. So what I almost always would do is to double check to make sure that that's not bent in, because this actually moves on this side. Sometimes it can go out, sometimes it can go in. See what I'm saying? When this is set over here, it's got a little play. I mean, you see how much that moves? So if this is all the way in, you could potentially have the pan go all the way down without that fire. But if you move it all the way out, your pan might fire from a very elevated position. See, watch when this flies up where it's at. It's all the way to the back side. Look how high my pan still is, if you can see it. Probably not. But if we move that all the way to the inside, I can't even push that pan down now to get it to fire. Well, I'll just set it and I'll show you. It's hard to explain through camera. So I pushed it all the way to the back side, as far as it'll go out. And if you watch where it'll fire at, now if we push it all the way in, which maybe it's moving on me, I'm not sure. If I push it all the way in, now we're almost as flat as where it was firing, but you can see how much that's still actually gripping underneath that. So now this will be almost flat. The pan will almost be below level. If you can see where that's at, I mean, we are below. And sometimes, like I said, if this gets bent, then your pan can touch the bottom of the trap before it fires. And that might be something to look into. That'd be my first guess. No, guess you already got them all going, Ben. Sorry, I did all that work for nothing. But I've got some like 1.5s that got bent like that, and I got to adjust them. Not getting anything done now. Was that kind of the problem, Ben? Was that something that could have happened? Yep. Hey, Justin, you must be bored today. I figured you'd be working or doing something. But yeah, I've had that with like the number 5s. Oh, the wife came home, so we better get back inside, guys. I didn't think she's coming home till later. So anyway, well, you guys have a good day, and we'll be having some trap videos coming out here pretty soon. So you guys take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next live.